Well, welcome everybody to this session. This particular session is tailored to auto dealerships. My name is Nicole Valen. I am one of the marketing managers at Blink Charging. And today we want to discuss EV Charging 101 and the best way to install the most efficient charging solutions, the fastest charging level 2 solutions for your existing and new EVs, like the cool Mach-E that we see here. So throughout the session, I'm actually going to be recording the whole thing. You're going to get these slides. So feel free to just spend time thinking about any questions. Feel free to use the Q&A section at the bottom of the bar of your Zoom to ask any questions throughout the session. And we will get to a specific Q&A part at the end of the presentation. Okay, I'm accompanied today by both Chris Cantera and Consuelo Capshaw, who will be joining me in the conversation about EV Charging 101 and the solutions that we have to talk to you about today, okay? Great, let's get started here. So Blink Charging is one of the leading providers of EV charging infrastructure in the US. We were founded in 2009 and are vertically integrated from tech manufacturing to connectivity to ownership of the actual charging stations. Since 2009, we have been growing and doing our part to accelerate EV adoption throughout the country. And during the session, we want to talk to you about how auto dealerships can do their part as well, and how best to educate not only your staff, but your customers about not only your vehicles, but the EV charging that needs to come with it. The way that we're going to run through the information is first, we'll talk about the plug-in vehicles and how to charge them to give you a little more background. Then we'll talk about the actual fast charging solutions and the process of installation. And then we'll roll right into, after you have chargers, how do you best manage and promote them within your dealership? Okay, with that being said, I'd love to introduce Consuelo Capshaw to take us through some of this information.
Hello, everybody. Let's talk about some plug-in vehicles and how to charge them. And may the 4th be with everybody today. Let's go ahead and get that out. So the demand for electric vehicles is just going to keep on increasing. We've done a study from 2019 up until 2028. As you can see, there's going to be 100 more additional electric vehicles that are going to be brought into the market. OEMs, which is original equipment manufacturers, they have committed to invest over $300 billion in EV research, development, and manufacturing. Now, these are just a little bit about the different types of levels of charge and the plug-ins. So a level 1 is going to be 120 volt, and it's going to get you about 2 to 5 miles per hour. And it's ideal for your overnight slow charging, more for your home. Now, more for the commercial use, which we're talking for this webinar for standard purposes, we've got a level 2, which is a 240 volt. It can go on a 240, and that is up to 40 to 65 miles per hour on a charge. And the cost of install, it averages anywhere from $5,000 and up. But just know there are different federal rebates that can help offset that cost for you. We'll talk about that too. Now, the DC fast, which is sometimes called a level 3, DC means direct current fast charge. And this is on a 480 volt. These are ones you'll see up and down the highways, big rest areas. You're going to get about 80% of the charge in about 30 to 40 minutes. It's a bigger machine. It's capable of all 3 plug-ins, and all of our chargers, just a side note, are capable to work on anywhere from a Nissan Leaf up to an electric line bus. We have all the different J1772 plug, CCS combo, and the Chatamo, which means cup of tea. And we also have, we're capable of working on Teslas. They just have to have an adapter to go on. And then I'm going to introduce Chris Quintera, who is an executive sales manager. Chris, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Quintera. I am actually Consuelo's her counterpart, who sits on the western side of Tennessee, while Consuelo takes the eastern side. So moving forward. Blink has a family of products that range everything from level 1 charging all the way up to the DC fast, including a portable charger in between there. Level 1 or the IQ 150, again, mostly seen at the home situation where we're able to charge for an extended period of time. The IQ 200 is primarily what we'll be focusing on today, and it's been the bread and butter for commercial use charging. DC fast, again, Consuelo hit on it as well, but is mostly seen on the corridor aspects or for rapid fleet charging. The portable charger is a newer product that Blink just unveiled late last year. It has a time and a place for everything, and we have seen it be very useful in roadside assistance packages, as well as at dealerships where you are wanting to bring the charge to the car, as rather bringing the car to the charge. It is a very interesting and pretty innovative solution to EV anxiety, range anxiety, as well as not running up the odometer when you're trying to get a charge on a car on your showroom floor. So next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about the IQ 200. And the IQ 200, what we like to call it, it's a lifestyle charge. So people out and about on their everyday lives will be charging during their lifestyle. It is a smart piece of technology that is able to be networked either through cellular service, AT&T and T-Mobile, or through Wi-Fi capabilities. And those it being networked, you're able to not only track the energy usage, but also manage billing and receive the reports on how often it is being used. What is great about this piece of equipment, it's modular. So if you were looking for a wall-mounted system, we're able to wall-mount it as well as put it on pedestals as well. As you can see, the triangular pedestal in the bottom is what we like to call a dual unit that it houses 2 of the IQ 200 chargers. And then on the right side, just another innovation that we came up with pretty recently is the pole mount. With most of these vehicles at these dealerships being in your fleet's parking lot, being able to mount one of these to a pole has been extremely useful in many situations. Another thing that's great about this charger is that it has the capability of being put on any sort of amperage from 10 to 100 amps at 80% capacity, and that's due to load management. It has the capability of dispersing the amperage that is being distributed through the chargers through a load management system. So it is a smart piece of technology that has 80 amps of capability on it, or what will be able to pump out 19.2 kilowatts, which is the fastest level 2 charger out there today. When it comes to billing, it can be done through anything from an RFID chip, Apple Pay, Google Wallet, and any sort of the major credit card systems that are out there. And the next slide, we will talk about why speed matters in this case. So what we have seen in the industry today is that the standard charger, level 2 charger, is capable of producing 7.2 kilowatts. And what that means is a car that is charging on a standard level 2 50 amp charger is capable of receiving 7.2 kilowatts. So as you can see, the Nissan Leaf, the Ford F-150 2022 version, or the Bolt, that is perfectly capable for those. But what we're seeing in the future is that cars and electric vehicle batteries are becoming much more capable of sustaining higher charging rates. So as you can see, the 2021 Mach-E has the capability of charging at a much faster rate than the 7.2 range. And we have seen that be something that most OEMs are producing. The industry standard going forward, what we're seeing will be set at 11.5, which the 19.2 kilowatts is more than capable of charging that and higher. So if you look at it, a Lyriq compared to a Nissan Leaf, if you charge a Lyriq at a 7.2 kilowatt range, you're only receiving about 20 miles of charge. However, if you're able to put a Lyriq on a 19.2, you're almost tripling that and able to get 60 miles of charge in the exact same amount of time, due to the fact that we're able to pump out 19.2 kilowatts on it. So speed definitely matters in a time where time is, in a day and age where time is money. This is really kilowatts is money today. So speed does matter in this situation. So how do we do this? It's a 3-step process. What we'd like to do is evaluate the sites first of all, and this is everything from location to checking the cellular signal or Wi-Fi signal that we could put in, as well as discuss the solutions. So what is the solution that you need? Is it for customer use where you want to attract customers to your site to look at your EVs as well as charge their EV while they're on site? Or are you looking to charge your fleet itself and maintain the charge that naturally Unfortunately, due to environment concerns, you will lose electric charge on electric batteries. So making sure that you have that fleet management system there that is capable of charging what you do have on site is always key. And it's just a matter of what you guys are looking for. Or again, is it for customer use or is it for fleet use? From there, we'll formulate a proposal and estimate installation costs. And step 2 would be looking for funding. And funding is something that I'm sure everybody's aware of. Some of the new administration that has come out and the announcement of $74 billion that is being designated to EV infrastructure. We have a grants team, as well as you have us, Consuelo and myself, working to find those fundings that is available in your area. And if we're able to find it, we will then apply it to your install and the equipment costs, and we'll have somebody on site to install the equipment for you. So 3-step process, pretty simple. Moving forward, I will pass this back over to Consuelo.
All right, let's talk about how to manage chargers at your dealership. Now, this is our network. Some advantages for the driver is that you can have real-time location view for your hour pricing and availability, environmental impact on savings, and you can get that in a report. And this is all for the driver. Now, as the host, you have the capability of getting reports that include your revenue, sustainability reports, and different types of gauges that you can go on and customize what you want to see on any type of report from the website. And there's remote EV station monitoring. You can streamline your payment process. This is also integrated with Apple, Google, Blink, and other popular map locations. There's odometer reading and tracking for your fleet management controls. You can also check the monitor and health of your level 1 and level 2 support on your charging station. And there's flexible pricing controls at the station. You can control that as the host. Now, our technology and platform is an open ADR 2.0. It's also OCPP 1.6J interface to support non-Blink equipment. And we have a security enterprise grade infrastructure, and we're graphically separated secondary backup systems. In a nutshell, what that means is the machine is not going to fry, it's weatherproof, it's capable of handling all types of weathering that can come while it's sitting. So it's capable of handling things.
If I could add one thing with the overall Blink network, the fact that, as Chris was talking about, the hardware itself, the actual chargers and the speed that it allows, it is future-proof. And the Blink network allows for any software updates to be done through the actual network, which means that you eliminate any kind of obsolescence of existing chargers, as EVs continue to evolve.
And so let's talk about how to get the community involved and let everybody know that you have chargers on site. We love to get you guys social. So what we would like to do is share pictures. We want to tag people who are in the EV world and like Blink, and so we can show your friends that you're committed to sustainability. Just we'll get you on all social networks, get that out there. And another way is to tell your staff. Communicate the added benefit of your staff. So let your staff know, hey, we're saving X amount of tons in gas. We're saving X amount of CO2 emissions. Like, we're helping the world. So tell your staff that they're part of a bigger picture. And we want to have a ribbon cutting. We want to come in and have the big influencers come in and talk about your charger, the mayor, the industry experts, even celebrities to come in and say, hey, this is a green place right here. And we want to spread the news through the local media. We want to contact the local newspapers, news channels, and tell them about the new EV charging station. That is big with drivers and leaving their home area. If they know they can come to your location and get around and reduce their range anxiety, we want to spread the news about that with the local news. And we want to document your installation. We want to take the pictures, show the videos, and share everything digitally so everybody knows that your location has EV charging and that they can get away and get far from range anxiety. Now, today, this is the future. The future is today. There's 19 million plug-in vehicles that are going to be on the road by 2030. And there are, and with the fastest level 2 charging with Blink. We're telling you about it right now. We have a level 2 with the 19.2 kilowatt output. It's the fastest in the industry. We're future-proof. We're here to get you guys on the map. A robust network. We own and operate a robust cloud network. We're flexible business models. We're here to help you with your installation and just get everything set up for you and acclimate to what is good for your budget. We can do that with all of our different business models. Now we'll start a little bit of Q&A. If anybody has any questions that they want to add in the chat, what can we answer for you?
Thank you so much, Consuelo. So let's wait to give them a little time to
Sure.
put any questions within the chat box at the bottom. We appreciate being able to talk specifically to auto dealerships. You know, we know that the evolution of the cars that has been happening over the last couple of years has been completely insane. The amount of investment that is being put in by the OEMs really makes this a conversation that needs to happen to be able to make customers feel comfortable to own an electric vehicle. We also need to provide them more EV charging infrastructure to feel that they don't have to be anxious about going from place to place. So it does take a lot of education to get them there. And when it comes to dealerships, you guys are the boots in the ground, right? The people who are actually talking to these drivers and telling them about not only the cars, but how to charge them. Let me jump into the Q&A session here. We'll get a couple. The very first one is, does your equipment have a warranty?
Yes, it does.
There you go.
Yes, sorry, I'll take that one. We do have a warranty, and the first year is going to be a standard included warranty on all of the equipment. From there, we have the opportunity to buy up to a 5-year warranty plan, and we will be gladly to get on the phone, work with you guys, and go into the pricing of that a little bit in more detail. But yes, first year included and up to 5-year capabilities purchased afterwards.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. We also have somebody asking, will the session be available offline afterwards? Yes, of course. So the video and the slides will be sent to you after the session is over. So no worries, you'll get to review all the information again. We also have a question from David saying, do we really need 19.2 kilowatts charging speeds?
Yes, and I'll take that one. Nicole, could you go back to the charging speed slide? Because I do believe I glossed over it very slightly there.
Yeah, let me go back
here. So thank you. So Nicole and Consuelo 2 times said future-proof. And it's one thing to say that our equipment is future-proof, but it's another to explain how it is future-proof. So I briefly hit on that 7.2 kilowatts is the standard that we see out there. And I want to backtrack a little bit. So level 2 charging is an indirect charge. We're only capable of charging a car as fast as the onboard charger will allow us to charge it. So with it being indirect, our charging equipment goes from the equipment into the onboard charger, and then from the onboard charger into the battery. We are hampered on our charging speeds based on that onboard charger. We foresee the market increasing the onboard capacitor speeds that they're able to take in up to the 19.2 or further, what you're seeing with that the Nissan Lyriq, as well as the Teslas and even the Mach-E have produced today. We foresee that the equipment today will not be able to match what the speeds will be of the future. So Blink went ahead and capped it out at 100 amps of a level 2 charge. And that's what level 2 is standardized across the board. The max you can ever have on a level 2 charger is 100 amps. So we've set it at 100 amps, set it at the max 19.2 kilowatts for level 2 charging in hopes and in foreseeing that the onboard capacitors will catch up to our charging equipment in the future. So there's going to be no need to rip and replace equipment. Once this charger is in the ground, it will be good and will be set for the extended future of 10, 15, 20 years that the electric vehicles will be out there. So I hope that answers the question, and I apologize if I glossed over it initially, but we see it as a future. Why have something that is slow out there charging? Everyone wants to go a little bit faster, and when it's adequate, ever been good enough? So hope that helps.
I really think it does. And David, if that doesn't, please let us know if you have any follow-up questions. But I definitely think, for a dealership to, like you said, time is money. And when it comes to having the opportunity of charging faster, it should be taken. So let me go ahead and find another one here. We have another question here asking, how much does your equipment cost?
So I'll take that. We have a dual unit, the dual unit with one pedestal that has 2 chargers on it right there in the picture. That is $6,500. And then we have a single unit that's on the pole right there with a pedestal. It's $4,050.
Perfect, thank you. And the good thing here is, you've heard the team talk about the funding opportunities, and the specific rebates available in certain areas help cover for equipment costs. They may help cover for a portion of the installation cost. So it's a really a case-by-case scenario. That's why we always go through the site evaluation portion first.
And then I'll also add this, I'll expand on this as well. The federal government has a tax credit, which you can talk to your tax accountant or whoever handles your taxes on that, because I am no tax expert. However, there is a federal credit, 30% up to $30,000 on getting your location ready for the chargers to be dropped.
Yes, let me get a question here that was dropped in the other chat. Aside from equipment purchase and install fees, what is the monthly cost or revenue split if fees are generated from customers for charging?
So it is, again, a case-by-case basis. It is completely dependent on which way we want to go, whether we are talking about host-owned, hybrid-owned business models where Blink is able to invest in the site as well as taking your host as a prime location. So if there's an opportunity where we see the dealerships being a great site in order to host one of these, Blink, for the most part, is willing to invest in many of these sites. And in that situation, we are looking for a rev share opportunity. However, it is very capable of being able to generate revenue for both parties. The monthly network fees, I believe, was the first part of that question.
Yes.
It's dependent upon the product. So for an IQ 200, the monthly network fee would be $18, ranging, from $12 to $18.
Yeah, so Steve, the difference there is that every single business model available, we have, when we talk about flexible business models, is because there are a couple of different ways to get into a deal to have the chargers being installed in your location. So that can range. And it can either be more or less upfront cost, more or less monthly cost. Great. So then William here is asking, can your software help generate leads through signups by people who live around the dealership and use the chargers?
Nicole, I'm going to defer that one to you.
I'm thinking about it. It's like, well, you know what, William, we may have to follow up with you after. There is some privacy information that it doesn't, the privacy policies may not allow for all information to be available, but your reports, like Consuelo had talked about, does say specific utilization and the times, but it won't give you contact information.
And you can always set up your screen to display different specials that you have at your dealership. You can wrap, of course, you can put whatever we can wrap it for you with whatever marketing that you would like to promote. If you have a new car coming out, if you have a new model, if you have a new product that's going in the car coming, we can customize the wrap to display that. And back-end reporting, that's what I was going to say. Nicole touched on that. The back-end reporting, it will not give you proprietary information on that customer, but you can do a a search and see when your chargers are being utilized the most and what types of cars are coming on there. So you can have a little bit of demographic on what is charging on your car, not per se that specific person because of the proprietary information of the customer.
Yeah, but I will also add to that the fact that when we say that the Blink network gives you access to being a charger in a map, that means that any electric vehicle driver that is in your area looking for a charging location is going to see available public charging at your location. What that does is that you may get actual drivers going to your location for the charging, and they're going to stay there long enough for you to have a conversation with them. So we always talk about that kind of indirect way of getting foot traffic that you usually would not.
It drives business to you.
Yeah, it's and that's something too, that having it displayed on the network, that people will see that these stations, if set up on 100 amps and 240 volt circuit, will have the capability of charging at 19.2. And that's another thing that will drive people to your locations, is just the speed alone, as opposed to that's the hard cost of seeing the charging rates and receiving the revenue from the kilowatts, but also the soft cost that you're receiving from the foot traffic and the people stopping and lingering at your locations.
Yeah. So in summary, William, you have the screens that can be used to promote. You have potential wraps that can be put on the actual unit, and you have the increased foot traffic into your location. Okay, great. Let me. Andres is asking, does the equipment come with the black backing always, or can we install on the walls of the service area like other chargers I've seen?
Yes. So the chargers can be mounted on the pole or mounted to the wall or mounted on a pedestal, which is seen here. A pole and pedestal is seen here, but it can be mounted to the wall as well.
Yeah, the actual charger itself is the silver or gray rectangle, and that is modular. That's what gives it that flexibility of being installed in many different ways. Great, we have another question. What kind of cars can charge on the charger?
So our chargers are capable of charging anything from a Nissan Leaf all the way up to an Align electric bus, all types of cars and trucks and buses. We got it. You plug it in, we'll give you juice.
Yeah, level 2 plug type that Consuelo had talked about is the J1772, and that is compatible with all EVs. Even Teslas, even if they have their own plug, Tesla owners will always have an adapter for J1772 because they want access to all chargers. And it's a good point that you bring up about more of the medium heavy duty vehicles. So when it comes to the transit vehicles, vans, buses, they can easily charge with this as well. Let's get another one here. Can you explain how long the funding and installation can take to be fully operational?
So unfortunately, it is case by case, and in some instances, the funding can be in a rebate situation, or other times it can be an incentive-based situation, or Consuelo also hit on it, where there are tax rebates that you're able to get. Again, case by case, I've seen it be done where you must have the equipment in the ground, pictures taken, and be fully operational until you receive your funding for it. And I have seen the inverse, where you are capable of requesting funding prior to the project and proceeding with the project with the funding that is distributed to you, case by case basis. And unfortunately, every state, every city, and every utility department is a little bit different, but we will work with you for it. There will be little to no footwork that you guys have to do to get the funding and get the information for that. That's what Blink will be here for, and that's what our grant department does on a daily basis. So we have the experience to do it and help out with the process.
And Chris, is it fair to say that obviously depending on any extraordinary things about that particular site, it can take a couple of months? Yes,
yeah, a couple of months at the least. It's again case by case dependent.
Case by case.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we always say to start the site evaluation as soon as possible, so you can get some expert advice on exactly how those steps would look like for you.
And sometimes it means meeting with the utility companies or even meeting with the state to clarify and make sure all paperwork is in order and correct. But we will be there with you every step of the way to make sure that that's input the right way.
Beautiful. So we have another one here. Do the chargers work in the rain?
Yes, they do. I've seen it firsthand be done in the rain. It's something that to an outside EV user, it seems like it might be a little dangerous, but I can assure you there is no need to worry about it. They are completely weatherproof and have all of the necessary certifications to operate in many different weather conditions.
Great. We have, what is the price difference between your level 2 equipment and the level 3?
So our price difference in level 2 is runs on a different electric panel than the level 3. We've got a 240 and then you're going to jump up to a 480. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 times more cost on a level 3 than you would a level 2, just because of the equipment is a lot more heavy. It's a more heavy duty equipment than the level 2. So our level 3 start out at about $32,000.
Yeah, I think something interesting there to mention is the fact that when you're talking about funding opportunities and overall return on investment and having more quantity of plugs at an efficient charging speed, that's why the level 2 is considered the one that people usually gravitate towards. The return to investment is going to be faster. There's usually more funding opportunities. So it does end up being the solution people want to go for. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is fair.
All right, let's see. We have another one here. Would I be able to install level 3 at my dealership? Well, there you go. It's on topic.
Yes, and we've worked with many different dealerships who have requested to have a level 2 capabilities for the customer use, and then have the DC fast in the back where it is only their fleet vehicles that are using the DCs because they want to get their fleet back up and operational very quickly. Whatever the scenario is, we'll take a consultative approach with you guys. It is not something that you have to come up and decide with all yourself. We've had experience doing this for many different organizations and many different dealerships. So we'd be happy to share what we've seen in the industry and other benchmark solutions that we've done for light companies. So whatever it may be, give us a call and we'd be happy to walk through what would be the best solution for you.
Yeah, it seems like case by case basis is the trend, but it's true. We like to be flexible, right? We like to be flexible. We like to make sure that we are nimble enough to give you the solutions that are going to work for you. So let me go back here. Do we have any other questions? I think right now we just answered them all. Well, we give them a couple minutes to see if they can come up with any other questions. You guys have at any point in time, if you have any questions after the session, feel free to email us directly. You can use the email in the screen right now to email us directly with any other questions. Keep in mind, you are going to receive the video as well as the slides for you to review the information. So we have one more here. Who should I contact if I am interested in moving forward? Yeah, you can use the email that is right on the screen at this time to go ahead and get in contact with us. Either Chris, Consuelo, or somebody on the team will make sure to have a conversation with you about what you're thinking about, and we'll start talking about what the best solution would be.
And what's nice is so you have Consuelo and I sitting in Tennessee. Consuelo covers the eastern part of it. I cover the western, as well as a couple of other of the sharing border states. We have a team of representatives like Sway and I sitting all across the nation, ready to help out anyway. So it's nice to have boots on the ground and people who can be there dedicated for you. And it's not just the two of us who are here to try to help everybody. You have a full team of support doing it.
Exactly. Are there any other thoughts, Consuelo, Chris, that you'd like to share with the group?
Just the thing with getting these chargers on your property is it's going to set you apart from other businesses and other car dealerships, and you'll be known as that dealership that has the charger. So people are going to remember your location, and it's just getting you in the footprint and the groundwork before it gets going. So be the first to get in, so you're the first to always be known.
Very true. I think it's interesting when we talk about a few years ago, electric vehicles and electric driving in general was conversations happening here and there. And now when we say that the future is today, is because we're no longer talking about tomorrow, we're talking about what is happening currently. And the vehicles that are launching this year are just beautiful and fast, and definitely something that we need to educate people to be able to get them to understand their solutions, their charging, and how they can own electric vehicles.
It's affordable. And there's different websites where other EV drivers will log in and say, hey, I plugged in here. Hey, I plugged in at this spot. But the more that you have EV drivers talking about your spot, it puts your location at the top when they're searching and geofencing for that area. So just know that the more hits that you have on your location on these different sites puts you at the top to geofence people to come to you.
Precisely. All right, guys, if there are no more questions, we'll wrap up here. But please, again, you will be receiving the video and the slides. Please send us any other further questions that you may think about. Okay, and for now, we wish you guys a great rest of your day.
And may the 4th be with you.
This is right. For any Star Wars fans out there, I was really hoping Trey was going to make this comment.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.